All right, so I feel like last time we did this video, last time I sat in this car in this parking spot on an Android phone and talked about EVs, I was talking about how the state of EVs is held back so much by charging. Like we've got all these great electric cars, but I was talking about this experience of charging them being dramatically behind. Because Tesla's got this huge advantage where they've built out this huge charging network and they've spent the billions and billions of dollars, and now it's so much better to own a Tesla and drive around and charge using their network than it is to use any public network, any Electrify America, all that stuff. But clearly that's changed. So this kind of feels like a sequel to that video. So let's talk about what's happening here. So in North America, this is specifically North America. The ports that I'm talking about apply to North America here. But in North America, we've got Tesla with their charging port, which they call NACS, the North American Charging Standard, but it's Tesla's port, they own it. And then there's everyone else, and most of them are using CCS, this open standard. And because there's so many Tesla superchargers out here that no other car other than Teslas can use, a question that kept popping up was, when are we gonna maybe be able to charge other EVs on Tesla superchargers? Wouldn't that be sick? Wouldn't that be a win for everyone? It would be better for all of those EVs, and Tesla could charge for it. And Elon kept tweeting about it like, oh yeah, we'll make it available someday, sure. Yeah, oh, we're allowing it. But like it never happened. And then a couple weeks ago, I made that video on the like 3 or 4 chargers that opened up, Tesla superchargers with this magic dock that had a CCS plug on the end so you could plug in any CCS car. There was like 3 or 4 of these chargers. And that was kind of cool, and that made my Rivian 3% better, but it was not very many chargers. But now we're starting to see this wave of actual collaborations with Tesla that are much more meaningful. It started with Ford, then it was GM, and then Rivian, and I'm starting to think by the time I post this video, there might be another domino to fall. But essentially what's happened is the CEOs have gone, all right, you know what? Tesla superchargers are so far ahead and are so good that you know what? We're just gonna put Tesla's port in our cars, and we're going to make Tesla superchargers available to all of our cars. It's not every single Tesla supercharger, but it's thousands of them. It's meaningfully, dramatically better for these cars. So like this started with Ford, right? And Ford CEO basically collaborated, announced this, and was like, all right, yeah. So starting in 2025, all Ford EVs will switch from the CCS port to Tesla's NACS port. Wow. Sick. And they'll be able to use thousands of Tesla superchargers and can still use the public chargers if they want to. If they're willing or brave or daring enough, they can use those too. They can get a CCS adapter. But basically they become much better cars because they work on Tesla superchargers now. And then GM did it. And so that's all the Hummer EV and all of the Cadillac Lyrics and all of those. And then Rivian today was the last domino to fall, and there will be more. But yeah, this is a game changer, and my take on this, honestly, is this is a win for everyone. So we can literally break this down. Who it's a win for? First of all, it's a win for us, the EV driver, because let's just take the Rivian for example. I feel like it's pretty obvious that it's a much better product now that you can confidently road trip in a Rivian in North America. Because Tesla superchargers are that good, the uptime is that much better, they're that much more reliable. I just think that's a no-brainer. That's a win for us, people driving these cars, or driving the cars of the future with that port. It's a win for the companies doing this, like Ford, GM, and Rivian so far, because now all of their cars are better, and all of their cars are better options, because let's be honest, I think a lot of people would agree that these vehicles are better than the vehicles Tesla's making. So if you prefer a pickup truck, or a 5-row, 7-seater SUV, whatever these options are that Rivian or Hummer or Cadillac or these others are making, these are better vehicles. So now all of them become better and more likely to be bought by people who want to use them all the time. So that's a win for the companies making them. They'll get more customers. And then it is a win for Tesla because, of course, they're getting paid. The logics of them getting paid are pretty straightforward, but there are even behind the scenes things like, of course, okay, you'll need a Tesla account. You'll pay the $10 a month. You'll pay for the charging, kind of like a gas station Tesla's the new gas station, maybe. But they're also, I believe, potentially eligible for government subsidy money. The government is paying for a bunch of chargers to be made, and they have to be able to charge lots of different cars to be eligible for the money. So they're going to get a lot of money for that too. Tesla wins. Might only be a little bit too much of a win for Tesla when you look forward into the future at potential monopoly status. But there's a couple other things to consider. Rivian is one of those companies who has said they're going to continue investing in and building their own network, their adventure network, even though they are now going to be switching to NACS. And they also, I remember I talked to RJ, the CEO, on our podcast, and I went back and listened to that episode real quick. Check out this clip real quick where he actually addresses Tesla superchargers.
There's been a massive underinvestment in charging infrastructure.
There's just like a couple of Tesla chargers that have added this adapter that can now work, and they'll show up in the map, which is great. Do you wish there were more open on Tesla's network?
Yeah, I think more will open on Tesla's network. Rivians can charge on Tesla's network where they're open. The way I think about it is, over time, I hope charging starts to become more ubiquitous and it becomes less of an issue.
If you ask me, it sounds like he had a hunch that this was coming or that this was a possibility. But the point is, the density of chargers available for all of these cars just got dramatically better, or at least will be in 2024 and 2025 when they switch to the new port. And that's a win for everyone buying those cars, everyone driving those cars. And the port itself is really good. I think that's a little bit of an underrated thing. The thin cable, the incredibly well-made chargers in the first place, and the more easily maneuverable end of the cable, it's a good plug. So I see this as a pretty much a win all the way across the board. Yeah, so this feels like a good sequel / part 2. I'll leave it at this. I still do actually hope that public chargers, slow level 2 chargers, and all sorts of other chargers that are just sort of floating around that aren't in the Tesla network continue to get better, because one, I think there will always be a delta between all Tesla superchargers access or some Tesla superchargers access. I believe Tesla has to keep some for themselves to have some advantage to buying a Tesla over another EV. I think that'll be their main advantage. And I also just want Tesla and charging in general to just be better across the board. And so if you watch the rest of that interview with RJ, he talks about them investing heavily in their own charger network and putting them in specific places that make sense for Rivians. Rivians are adventure vehicles, so you won't really find Tesla superchargers at national parks or in forests or campsites, but you will find Rivian's adventure network there. So they can be more specialized, and if you buy a Rivian, it'll make sense to use those sometimes. So I hope that investment continues from these companies, but now they kind of have less pressure to do that mass highway adoption of just putting these things all over the place, because Tesla's been doing that. It's a good look. Who do you think is the next domino to fall? It could be Lucid, it could be Hyundai, it could be Mercedes, Polestar, maybe even. There's a lot left on the table, but I think we're gonna see some more, which is a good thing. All right. That's been it. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.